Damn, this robust race-proven two-stroke, rigid chrome moly frame machine is designed to take unimaginable abuse across the roughest of terrains. The Yamaha DT is essentially a competitive motocross and enduro motorcycle packaged for daily commuting and heavy-duty utility. The DT is not just a motorcycle in Kenya, it is a cultural phenomenon. It is a cultural institution on two wheels. And if you have spent any meaningful time outside Nairobi's tarmac, you already know what exactly that means. From the red murram roads of Meru town to the steep rain-soaked tracks of Kisii, from the vast open plains of Laikipia to the chaotic pothole-riddled back streets of Eldoret and Taita Taveta. This machine has seen it all, been there, done it all. This machine has been quietly doing the hard work that most motorcycles simply cannot handle, and it has been doing so for decades without asking for much in return. Literally. Built around a 171cc to 175cc air-cooled, single-cylinder two-stroke engine, producing a punchy 16.5 to 17 horsepower, the DT175 was engineered with a philosophy that resonates deeply with the Kenyan riding environment. Keep it simple, keep it light, and make it tough enough to survive conditions that would destroy lesser machines. The 6-speed constant mesh gearbox gives you a surprisingly wide and usable power band for a bike of this size, letting you lag along at low revs through thick mud or spin up aggressive on open ground depending on what the terrain demands. And that kickstarter, which newer riders sometimes look at with mild suspicion, is actually one of the DT's greatest hidden strengths, because when you are 40 kilometers from the nearest town with that flat battery, no phone signal, that kickstarter is the difference between riding home and spending time in a ditch. The first thing that strikes you when you throw a leg over the DT175 is just how confidence-inspiring the ergonomics feel for off-road use. And that is not an accident. Yamaha designed this bike especially to be ridden hard in places where roads are more of a suggestion than a reality. The seat height and handlebar position put you in naturally upright, attack-ready stance that lets you stand on the foot pegs comfortably over rough grounds, which any experienced dirt rider will tell you is exactly where you want to be when the terrain gets technical. At around 107 kilograms weight, the bike is light enough that a reasonably fit rider can manhandle it out of deep sand, lift it out of ditch, or navigate a narrow overgrown track without feeling like they are wrestling a buffalo. And that low weight combines beautifully with the engine's low end torque to make the DT feel genuinely nimble and responsive in a way that heavy adventure bikes costing 3 times as much simply cannot replicate in tight technical conditions. The monocross rear suspension soaks up the kind of abuse that Kenyan roads dish out on a daily basis, and while it is not sophisticated by modern standards, it is robust, predictable, and easy to service locally without specialist tools or knowledge, which in the Kenyan context is worth far more than a complex linkage system that requires a dealership visit every time something needs adjusting. On tarmac, the DT175 is genuinely capable for urban commuting, reaching top speeds of around 110 to 120 kilometers per hour under optimal conditions, which is more than adequate for navigating Nairobi's Thika Road or cruising between towns on the highway. Although it is worth mentioning and being honest that the DT was never designed to be a highway mile eater, and it will feel slightly buzzy and busy at sustained high speeds compared to a dedicated road bike, for instance. Where it truly earns its reputation is the real Kenya, the Kenya of broken tarmac that suddenly turns to loose gravel, of seasonal river crossings, of farm tracks that have been churned into a muddy obstacle course by tractor wheels. And in those conditions, the DT175 moves with confidence and authority that will make you understand immediately why veterans, agricultural extension officers, land surveyors, and rural health officers, workers across East Africa have been choosing this machine for over a decade, when their work literally depends on getting there regardless of what the road looked like. The engine's power delivery has that classic two-stroke character, a little flat at the very bottom of the rev range, then building with real urgency into a satisfying mid-range surge that pulls strongly and rewards a rider who learns to use the gearbox to keep the engine in its sweet spot. And once you develop that rhythm with the DT, it becomes an almost addictive riding experience that is genuinely hard to replicate on any 4-stroke commuter bike in the same price bracket. Now let us talk about things that will test your patience, because the DT175 is an honest machine and it deserves an honest review. And the truth is that owning a classic 2-stroke in Kenya requires a specific kind of mechanical engagement that not every rider is prepared for. The carburetor's pilot jet is extraordinarily small and will clog with alarming efficiency if you leave old fuel sitting in the system, fill up from a dodgy petrol station with contaminated fuel, or allow any rust to develop inside your tank. And when it clogs, you will experience hard starting, a rough idling, and frustrating performance loss in the quarter to 3/4 throttle range that will have you scratching your head until you realize the fix is thorough carb cleanup, and that any decent mechanic on Kirinyaga Road can actually handle it in under an hour for a very reasonable cost. The factory Autolube automatic oil injection system is a more serious concern, and one that every DT owner in Kenya should address early and decisively. This pump can wear out, lose its prime, or simply fail without warning. And when it does, your engine will be running without adequate lubrication, leading to the kind of catastrophic piston seizures that turns a perfect good engine into an expensive paperweight almost instantly. Which is why the vast majority of experienced DT riders across East Africa have permanently bypassed the oil pump and switched to running a premixed fuel and 2T oil ratio of 40:1, a modification that costs almost nothing but eliminates one of the bike's most dangerous failure points entirely. And it is absolutely the first thing you should do if you have to buy a used DT that still has the original pump in place. The crankshaft seals and rubber intake boot are two more components that demand attention on any DT with significant kilometers on the clock, because when these fail, and on old bikes they will eventually fail, unmetered air enters the engine and creates a dangerously lean fuel mixture that causes the engine to idle erratically, rev uncontrollably, and in severe cases refuse to shut off even when you hit the kill switch, a genuinely alarming experience that is far more common on neglected DTs than most sellers will admit when you are inspecting a used bike. The electrical system, meanwhile, is a product of its era. The 6-volt setup found on older models is adequate when everything is in good condition, but has a tendency to develop weak spark issues as the battery, rectifier or CDI unit ages, and a foul spark plug is so common on 2-strokes running rich or with oil pump issues that carrying a spare plug in your pack should be considered as essential as carrying water on any ride beyond the suburbs. Finally, carbon buildups in the exhaust and mufflers is an unavoidable reality of 2-stroke ownership, and if it is allowed to accumulate unchecked, it will strangle your exhaust flow, rob you of top end power, and make the bike feel sluggish and unresponsive in a way that is frequently mistaken for a more serious engine problem, when in reality a good exhaust cleanout restores performance dramatically and should be part of every major service. On the question of price and value in the Kenyan market, the DT175 presents buyers with a genuinely interesting choice that depends entirely on your budget, mechanical confidence, and how you intend to use this machine. A brand new unit through CFAO Mobility Kenya will cost you somewhere between 490,000 Kenya shillings to 657,000, depending on current stocks and market conditions. which is a significant investment by any measure and one that is only really justifiable if you need the peace of mind of a dealer warranty, documented service history from kilometer zero, and the knowledge that no previous owner has been creative with the maintenance schedule. The used market, accessible through Facebook, Jiji, and other motorcycle groups that have become remarkably active across Kenya's major towns, tell us a very different story. A well-maintained second-hand DT 175 regularly changes hands for between 150,000 to 350,000 Kenya shillings. For a mechanically savvy buyer who knows what to inspect and what warning signs to avoid, a good used DT in that price range represents extraordinary value for a machine that has this level of capability, parts availability, and proven longevity. The parts ecosystem is one of the DT's most compelling argument in the Kenyan context. Because this bike has been a regional staple for so long, pistons, gaskets, cables, bearings, and carburetor components are available not just on authorized dealer shops, but at the kind of small specialist motorcycle shops and scrap dealers found in virtually every other major town in this country, which means that unlike some modern motorcycles that leave you stranded awaiting parts for weeks to arrive in Nairobi, a broken DT in GTalio, Garissa, or Malindi even can usually be back on the road within a day or two, if you know where to look, that is. The bottom line of the Yamaha DT 175 is this: if you ride in the real Kenyan condition, if your work or lifestyle takes you regularly off the tarmac and onto the kind of terrain that makes most motorcycles whimper, and if you're willing to invest a small amount of time in understanding the specific maintenance needs of this classic two-stroke machine, then this machine will reward you tremendously with a level of reliability, capability, and sheer riding enjoyment that is genuinely difficult to find at any price point in the current Kenyan market. It is not perfect, no motorcycle is. And the two strokes fuel thirst, the small 10-liter tank that limits your range on long journeys, and the handful of non-mechanical gremlins that come with the territory are real considerations that deserve honest weight in your buying decision. But when you're on the remote track in the Abadeas within 30 kilometers of rough ground still ahead of you, the sun dropping fast, and the DT 175 underneath you pulling smoothly through the mud, and the kind of quiet mechanical confidence that only comes from decades of proven real-world performance, you will understand completely why this machine has earned its legendary status in Kenya and why, long after flashier and more modern alternatives have come and gone, the Yamaha DT 175 is still the benchmark that everything else gets measured against. And that's the robustness I was talking about. So who exactly is the Yamaha DT 175 for? And just as importantly, who should probably look elsewhere? This bike is built for the rider who needs a genuine workhorse, the farmer who covers 80 kilometers of unpaved road every single day, the rural health worker who cannot afford to be stranded, the weekend trail adventurer who wants a proven fixable machine rather than a fragile showpiece, and the urban commuter who occasionally needs to escape the tarmac grid entirely without buying two separate motorcycles. It is for the mechanically curious rider who sees basic maintenance as part of the ownership experience rather than an inconvenience. And for anyone who values the long-term security of a massive established parts ecosystem over the short-term appeal of a newer design. Now, it is worth mentioning and acknowledging that the Kenyan assembled Kibo dirt bikes have been making some genuine noise in this space. They come in at significantly lower entry price points, they are locally assembled, which simplifies warranty support, and for a rider who is primarily recreational and stays within reasonable distance for a service center, a Kibo is a genuinely attractive proposition that deserves serious consideration. However, where the DT 175 still pulls clear, it is in the depth of its proven track record in truly remote, high-stakes conditions, the global depth of its parts supply chain, and the sheer accumulated knowledge among Kenyan mechanics who have been working on these machines for decades, and the engines. When your livelihood depends on the machine starting every single morning without drama, that accumulated trust carries real monetary value that a newer market entry simply cannot match. The DT is not for a rider who wants fuel injection, modern electronics, or smooth, refined highway experience. For that type of experience, look at the KTM Duke range or the Honda CB series. It is also not ideal for a complete beginner with zero mechanical experience and inclination and no local support network, because the two-stroke personality demands a rider who pays attention. But if you know what you're getting into and you respect the machine, the Yamaha DT 175 will give you years of faithful, capable, deeply satisfying service that very few motorcycles at any price point can honestly promise in the Kenyan riding environment. If this review helped you make a smarter decision about your next bike or gave you something valuable to think about, do us a solid favor. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification if you haven't, so you never miss a review. And drop your questions on the comment section below about the DT175. And bring up your DT175 stories as well in the comments below, because we read every single one of them. And they also help us bring you even more honest comments and reviews and feedbacks about these bikes. So please subscribe, because more honest, real-world Kenya motorcycle content is coming your way very soon, and you do not want to miss it. Bye for now.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll show up.